every now and again, I have to dig deep into the Pokédex to find a Pokemon that no one else would ever use. And I did exactly that. And I found Emolga. Now, if you've ever played Black and White, Emolga probably gives you PTSD. But that aside, I tried everything in my power to make it work. Over the span of multiple days, I tried strategy after strategy after strategy, and nothing stuck. Its stats are terrible, it has no HP, virtually no attack or defenses. The only stat above average really is its speed. But with Pokemon like Aerodactyl, Sneasler, and Frostas in the meta, this thing was getting absolutely eviscerated in Master Ball tier. There was no hope, and I was about to quit making this video. But before I decided to quit, I decided to try one more thing. And that's when everything changed. Now Emolga gets the ability Motor Drive, which boosts its speed by 1 stage when it gets hit by an electric attack. So my first initial instinct was to use Mega Manetric and use Discharge, as it's the fastest discharge user in the game, and then try to pivot out by using Volt Switch with Emolga. And to be fair, this strategy was actually really good into Aerodactyl, because Mega Manetric outspeeds it, and after 1 Motor Drive, so did Emolga, meaning that we were able to KO it after the Focus Sash activating. But I still had a hard time going up against Whimsicott and Talonflame, as their abilities give Tailwind priority. And if Manetric and Emolga can't go first, we're cooked. So I had to think of a consistent way to counter Tailwind, no matter who was using it. And it's actually quite funny, because believe it or not, Emolga got nerfed coming into Pokemon Champions. In every single game Emolga's been in, it's been able to learn Tailwind. But for some reason, Game Freak took it away from Emolga in Pokemon Champions. Game Freak, there's bigger fish to fry than nerfing Emolga. But this just made it even more difficult, because not only did I have to succeed using Emolga, but I had to succeed using a nerfed Emolga. But anyway, I looked at Emolga's moveset multiple times and couldn't find anything to reliably counter Tailwind. Emolga does learn Taunt, but because Whimsicott and Talonflame have priority when using Tailwind, they're always going to be able to set it up before Taunt goes off. So, that was it. The video can't be done. But it can, because of Electro Web. And what Electro Web does is it lowers the speed stat of both of your opponent's Pokemon by 1 stage, similar to how Icy Wind does. I found out that if Emolga used Electro Web while Manetric used Discharge to activate Motor Drive, Emolga would often move first next turn, even with my opponent still having Tailwind up, especially with Discharge having a 30% chance to paralyze each of my opponent's Pokemon, which is great because I achieved my goal of countering Tailwind. But now what? We have a super fast Emolga, but it does no damage. But the question is, why does it need to do damage when we could just give our speed to someone else? Now, when I was using this lead together, it was actually good. It caught a lot of people off guard, but I had a difficult time going up against Dragon and Ground type Pokemon. So I needed a Pokemon that was good into these 2 types. And I decided to choose Hisui and Goodra. Now, Goodra has really nice stats, but its speed isn't the best. But with Emolga using Baton Pass and giving Goodra +1, and sometimes even +2 speed, Goodra becomes decently fast. And for some reason, Goodra gets a lot of moves for coverage, including Ice Beam for ground types, and of course Draco Meteor / Dragon Pulse for dragon types. Now I tried out the core, and it actually worked out quite well, but there were still 2 Pokemon giving me trouble. Those Pokemon being Kingambit and Sneasler. But they gave me trouble for reasons that you might not expect. Manetric gets the ability Intimidate when it Mega Evolves, which is usually good. However, against Kingambit and Sneasler, it's terrible. Most Sneaslers have the ability Unburden and also hold on to the White Herb. So when Intimidate goes off, you're essentially doubling the speed of your opponent's Sneasler. And even with us having Electro Web and activating Motor Drive, Sneasler still often goes first, which is annoying because it deals a lot of damage. The second problem is Kingambit having the ability Defiant. With Manetric's Intimidate activating, Kingambit ends up having +1 attack. So I had to figure out a counter for these 2 Pokemon. And after some thinking, I thought of just not Mega in Manetric. And surprisingly, it actually works quite well. The downside is that Manetric is a bit weaker, but the payoff is well worth it. For the last slot on the core, we're going to be bringing Basculegion, as Basculegion late game is borderline broken. Here's the full team. Apart from Emolga having Electro Web and Baton Pass, it has Taunt in case we fight anyone with Trick Room, and it has Air Slash for any para flinches from Discharge. With all that said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And let's get into the matches. Okay, so our opponent's running a team with Mega Flower, Aerodactyl, Incineroar, so the classic team. Sneasler as well. Let's lead off with Emolga. We can choose Manetric, Goodra, and we can choose Basculegion here. They send out Aerodactyl and Garchomp. Okay, so Garchomp here is going to be immune to Discharge, but that's fine. We can just use Baton Pass and go into Goodra next turn, and then use Dragon Pulse. Okay, let's use Electro Web. And then Mega and Discharge. There's Mega Manetric. Intimidate goes off, which is helpful because Garchomp's a physical attacker. Obviously, so is Aerodactyl, but I didn't think it survives this turn. Yeah, nearly one-shots Aerodactyl there. Electro Whip to clean up. Boom, Aerodactyl's gone. Garchomp uses Earthquake. I think we survive after Intimidate. I think we do. Yeah. So far, we're looking good. So far, we're looking good. They go into Floette. Okay, I think what we do is... Okay, I want to use Electro Web again, to be fair. What do I know? Okay, you know what? Let's just use Baton Pass. And then Thunderbolt into Floette. I think that's fine. I think that's fine, honestly, yeah. They Mega. Is it going to be Calm Mind? Is it going to be Calm Mind? I don't know. Baton Pass. We go into Goodra. There he is. Thunderbolt. Does good damage onto Floette. We'll take that. We'll take that. They use Dragon Claw to Manetric. We go down, but that's fine. That's fine. They use Light of Ruin. Why did they use that onto Emolga? Wait, what? They used it onto the Emolga slot. Hello? Okay, I think what we do is we go into Basculegion and we just sort of win from here. We use Dragon Pulse onto Garchomp. And then we use Last Respect onto Floette. Okay. Floette uses Protect, sure. We should one-shot Garchomp here. Look, we couldn't have done that without Emolga. So, big up Emolga. They send out Sneasler. They're going to use Fake Out onto Goodra. I think we win though. I mean, like, let's just use Dragon Pulse onto Sneasler. What we do is we KO Floette. And that should be it. We just use Air Slash onto Sneasler next turn. And then that's it. Fake Out, Goodra goes down. But over here we win. We just Wave Crash. Not even Air Slash because Basculegion's going to outspeed next turn. But Emolga will still be there on the field to witness the win. Lost respect. Floette goes down. You never thought you would see it. Emolga and Basculegion are the last man standing. When have you ever seen Emolga beat a team with Floette on it? Never. Until right now. Okay, so our opponent's running a snow team with Ninetales and Mr. Mime. Sorry, Mr. Rhyme. Not Mime. Sorry. Okay. I think we just still bring Emolga. Just a regular core, really. They go into Aerodactyl and Primarina. Over here, we just use Electro Web. We can Mega and use Discharge. Aerodactyl should go down first turn once again. Does Primarina use Protect though? Does it use Protect? No, Aerodactyl uses Protect. Alright. I mean, I'll tell you that. We just get a free speed boost here. Yeah, Motor Drive. We just do it again. Electro Web and Discharge. Maybe Aerodactyl has Wide Guard? Okay, I don't think it does because they swapped out Primarina. They go into Mr. Rhyme. Electro Web. Actually, it does decent damage there, no? That's doing okay. That's doing okay. Discharge. And Aerodactyl goes down. They forfeited! No one's handling the Emolga spectacle. No one's handling it. Okay, so our opponent here has a team with Frigoraph and Torkoal. Okay, yeah, so probably Trick Room. Probably Trick Room. That's fine. We can just use Taunt. They send out Frigoraph and Golurk. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely Trick Room. Let's use Taunt onto Frigoraph. Mega and... Honestly, like, okay. Is there any point using Discharge to boost Emolga's speed? Because we're going to go first anyway. Like, yeah, we're going to outspeed. And so will Goodra probably. I think we use Thunderbolt onto Frigoraph and then just try to KO it. Intimidate. Yeah, Golurk uses Protect. They never thought that Trick Room would get shut down by Emolga. They never thought it happened. But expect the unexpected, my friend. Expect the unexpected. You're not using Trick Room, you're not. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think we use Air Slash onto Frigoraph. And we just use Discharge. Yeah, okay. Even though the team isn't fast, we're basically ensuring that Goodra goes first when we use Baton Pass. Discharge. Does decent to Frigoraph. And it gets paralyzed. Air Slash. Guys, ignore that, ignore that. Headlong Rush. We go down with Manetric, we go down. That's fine. I mean, like, I think we're in a good position to actually just win the game here. Hyper Voice. Gets us down to the Sash. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Let's go into Basculegion here. With Emolga, we can use Baton Pass. And then with Basculegion, we can use Wave Crash onto Golurk. That's your one shot. They use Protect. Absolutely fine. Baton Pass with Emolga. And there's Goodra. Frigoraph uses Hyper Voice. Yeah, that's doing nothing to the Goodra there. Too tanky. Isn't taunted anymore, but I think it's too late. We can just use Dragon Pulse. And then, yeah, once again, Wave Crash. And there's nothing that our opponent can really do. Yep, there's Wave Crash. Golurk goes down. Dragon Pulse. And Frigoraph also goes down. Honestly, Basculegion and Goodra together feel so broken. Because you just sort of have the tank, who also deals a lot of damage. And then you have one who deals damage dealing an absurd amount of damage. We can use Flamethrower onto Sinister. And then Wave Crash onto Torkoal. The time. Okay, we did it in time. Okay. Torkoal did use Protect. Flamethrower doesn't get rid of Sinister. And he uses Trick Room. Can our opponent bring it back? Can they bring it back? I mean, like what? We just use Dragon Pulse onto Torkoal and then Wave Crash onto Torkoal as well. They use Earth Power, not Eruption. I feel like Eruption was the better play there, no? Maybe I'm wrong. Matcha Gotcha. Bust Legion goes down. No, it doesn't. Okay. Dragon Pulse. Does a lot to Torkoal. Wave Crash. And yeah, Torkoal goes down. We survived the recoil. Yeah. Okay. And they forfeit their match as well. Okay, so our opponent has a rain team with Whimsicott and Politoed. It's Puffer as well. Okay, could be speed boost strats. Let's bring Emolga, Manetric, and just a regular team. They send out a Sparfra and Rotom. Guess what? We have the speed boost counter. We have the tried and tested speed boost counter right here. They're gonna use Protect first turn probably. We can use Electro Wave, Mega, and use Discharge. Okay. No Protect. There's Motor Drive. That actually does decent damage to Sparfra and Rotom. Okay. Electro Web. And now you're slower. These Volt Switch. Onto Emolga. We're +2 speed now. We're +2 speed. Honestly, I think we just do the exact same thing again. Electro Web and Discharge. These Protect. You're not outspeeding Emolga. You're not doing it, I'm telling you. It's Puffer's Meta's match. It's finally Meta's match. Discharge and Rotom goes down. They send out Helios. I mean, guess what? We just use Electro Web and Discharge again. There's literally nothing they can do. They can't do anything. Does it miss someone? Okay, it misses Helios, which is sort of bad, but not really. Discharge. We're at like, what, like +4 speed now? These Hyper Voice. Emolga survives. Okay, I think next time we just use Baton Pass onto Goodra, and then we just sort of win from there. They send out Politoed. Okay, yeah, over here we use Baton Pass. And with Manetric, we can use Thunderbolt onto Politoed. That should be it. That should actually be it. Yup. We have like... we have +4 speed. So Goodra should be outspeeding even Choice Scarf Bass Legion at this point. Thunderbolt. Politoed does survive it. Helios uses Hyper Voice. Manetric survives. Weather Ball as well. Onto Manetric, okay. That's fine, that's fine. I mean, we just go into Emolga, use Electro Web, and I think that's it. No, like, I think that's actually it. We use Dragon Pulse onto Helios. Electro Web. Does Emolga outspeed Helios? I don't think it does. Oh, if only if Electro Web didn't miss the first time. Dragon Pulse doesn't KO. Yeah, Helios is faster. Okay. We would have outsped if Electro Web hit earlier, but it missed. So unfortunate. There you Surf. Heals Helios. Sure, I mean, like, I don't think it actually matters at this point. Doesn't do anything to Goodra. We just use Dragon Pulse. I suppose Last Respect onto Politoed because Helios is immune to water. Dragon Pulse. Helios goes down. And there's Last Respect. This team's actually doing well, which is the ridiculous thing. This team shouldn't be doing good. Our opponent here has a team with Mega Floette. Okay. I mean, like, let's see if it's enough. Let's see if it's enough to stop Emolga. They send out Floette and Golurk. Okay. Over here, I think we use Electro Web. We Mega and we use Discharge. And then next time we go into Goodra and then use Splash Cannon onto Floette. They Mega Floette, okay. Discharge. Motor Drive. Does Floette get paralyzed here though? Does it? It does. Discharge OP. Electro Web. Floette avoids it. I mean, like, it's fine. It's fine. It got paralyzed, which is like the main thing. Headlong Rush, Ultimate Manetric. Okay, sure. Let's go to Basque Legion. Over here we can use Baton Pass, and we can use Wave Crash onto Golurk. Baton Pass, Wave Crash, Golurk gets one shot. Daze Dazzling Gleam. Does Basque Legion survive? It does. It does. We're taking it. We're taking it. They send out Gardevoir. It traces adaptability. Oh no. That's actually very good for my opponent. Not good for me, but that's good for my opponent. Okay, let's use Flash Cannon onto Floette and Wave Crash onto Gardevoir. I feel like this one shots. It could have the Focus Sash. It could. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, no Focus Sash. Basque Legion does go down though. Flash Cannon. Floette actually survives. Okay. Guys, guess what? With Basque Legion going down there, it all comes down to Emolga. My boy, it's your time, man. 6 HP in a dream. The legendary 2v2. Who did they send now? Who did they send now? For Alligator. Can Emolga do it? Can Emolga 2v2 here? Can it do it? We use Flash Cannon onto Floette. And then we use Electro Wave. Yeah. Wait, no. Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. Does Alligator have Aqua Jet? Does it have Aqua Jet? I don't know. I think what we do is we use Electro Wave and then we Dragon Pulse onto Alligator. Okay, please don't have Aqua Jet. Please don't have Aqua Jet. Don't do it. No Aqua Jet. Dragon Pulse. Emolga. Emolga. Doesn't miss anyone. Oh my days. Emolga's become too strong. This is why Game Freak nerfed it. They were scared of its potential. Guys, let me know what you think of Emolga in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one.